Welcome, CEO teachers, back to the show. Today's show is all about the key to unlocking the income that you desire. The time is now, teachers. If you have ever thought about learning how to design teaching products that actually sell, our video series starts this Sunday, June the 23rd, 2024. If you're listening to this podcast in real time, you can go to caseymorris.com/sign up. I don't want you to miss it. It's 3 full days of a free video training series that will teach you step by step how to create teaching products that actually sell. We're going to be going through our lesson plan blueprint. I'm going to show you how to market and brand yourself as a teacher. And then I'm going to show you how to transform your income right now. So today we're going to talk about the key to unlocking the income that you desire as a teacher. I'm going to give you some strategies about 7 different ways that you can start planning ahead before we kick off our video series, because getting your mind right is one of the most important pieces to the process, but also just getting back into the swing of things because you just got out of school if you're in the States and you're trying to figure out what the future might hold. Today's episode is definitely for you. So stick around. You don't want to miss it. Get ready for 3 days of fun in the sun learning with teachers around the world and set yourself up for a profitable teacher summer without having to leave your beach chair. Right now, you're probably busy catching up on sleep, hot coffee, and non-scheduled bathroom breaks. Anyone else's head nodding along. But before you officially forget what day it is, go now and save your poolside seat and grab your VIP invite to the teacher party of the summer by going to caseymorris.com/sign up. Stop wondering how to stretch that 10-month paycheck into 12. From the lesson plan, money blueprint to top tier teaching, marketing, and everything in between, I'm breaking it all down for 3 days only. I am pulling back the curtain and sharing the secret sauce, the tips, the strategies, and the tools that will help you turn your classroom influence into income and your poolside passion into profit. All you got to do is save your seat right now. It's happening Sunday, June the 23rd through the 25th by going to caseymorris.com/sign up. Then you can kick up those tired teacher feet, sip on a fruity drink, because friends, this is your moment. You've earned it, and I'll see you inside of our free video training series. Again, it's KAYSEMORRIS.com/sign up. If you have hung around me for any small amount of time, you've heard me say this: the less I work, the more I make. I once heard James Wedmore say that at a Kajabi conference on stage. And I'll admit, I kind of looked around at the audience to see if people were with this statement, right? Did they agree with it? Because I was like internally rolling my eyes. I was like, oh, okay, sure. I recently posted an Instagram post that's done really well for us. And I talk about what my life looked like as a teacher. I was working 40 to 50 hours a week. I was making $35,000 a year. I was working to live instead of living to work. And I don't know that very many people actually get to live their life to work. Like I love my job. It fulfills me like nothing else. And I didn't realize what the future could hold, that I could not work 40 hours a week, work 4 days a week, 4 hours a week. I made over $1 million in a year, traveling the world. And I'm truly living for the first time in my life. And although I internally roll my eyes at James Wedmore for saying this statement on the Kajabi stage, my heart wanted it. I wanted to believe that it was true because I came from a lower class blue collar family. My daddy worked about 80 hours a week, most weeks selling life insurance door to door. He had a pressed white shirt, board straight tie. He had one nice coat. He was sweated down every single day. And I watched him polish his shoes every night as he walked in the door. My mom had dinner cooking and we were watching Wheel of Fortune as a family. He was gone before the sun came up and he got home about at dinner time every night. Some days he was soaked head to toe from sweat, as I said before. And other days he was just so stressed out that he didn't have many words to say while we were at dinner. Either way, I was instilled the belief inside of me from a very, very young age that the harder you work, the more money you make. And while I believe my daddy's hard work allowed me to live the life that I live now by seeing what he did and by giving me the opportunity to see the future of what life could look like in education, I now realize that it's not the harder you work, the more money you make, but in fact, it is the smarter you work, the more money you make. And you can work less and make more, teachers. It's happening. It's happened to thousands of teachers, not just me. My mom, she always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, and she often referred to it as her dream job. Me, on the other hand, I love my kids, goodness, but I could not be a stay at home mom. But I don't know what your dream is. I wanted to do this full time, which was teaching full time. But many of our students have become stay at home moms, have started teaching part time, are teaching full time, but making the income that they deserve. So let me ask you this: how can you have multiple streams of income with less work and more play? How can you find freedom, flexibility, and fun in your every single day life? How can you have time for your kids, your animals, nature, your significant other? How can you have time to grow your physical, spiritual, and mental health as well? Well, today's episode is all about that. So, you may be thinking to yourself, before I get into the strategies and the key to unlocking the income that you desire as a teacher, you may be thinking, I don't know the first thing about creating an online business. And that reminds me of one of our students, Stephanie. She is a former teacher now, but she was full time when she started our programs, who started selling her teaching resources about a couple years ago. But she didn't have the tools to make the money that she wanted to make. And she didn't know anything about starting an online business. And before joining the CEO teacher membership, she was making a few $100s a month. She decided to invest in herself. She became a member. And that's when everything changed. She said that our programs are like a college course because there's so much to learn, and you have exactly what you need to establish and build a successful business every single step of the way. She feels like she's completed her teacher business degree, and she is one of our highest paid CEO teachers right now. The year that Stephanie joined the membership, she made six figures with her online business, and she has only gone up from there. It's a feel good feeling, friend. So before we get started, though, I want to be very clear, because I will undoubtedly get emails or direct messages about this. I am a woman of faith. I believe that I get to create the life that I want with the help of God, and I get to see the future with the help of God. That does not mean that I'm trying to play God or that I believe that I can make the world do as I wish. Instead, I believe that if you fix your mind, your energy, your heart, and your compassion on something, you can achieve it. And with God's help, I get to be, do, and have anything my heart desires. And I believe that for you as well. What is not for me will not come my way. What is intended for me will always find its way back to me. Every moment in my life has led me to this moment. This is my life's work. I am the happiest I've ever been in my entire life right now, today. And it wasn't crystal clear for a long time. It's taken many, many years of working through the vortex of negative thinking and doing and ultimately having, because teachers were trained to think only one way. It's an 180-day cycle of teaching, earning money, summer vacation. And as teachers, we don't get into the details of attracting often because we don't really have time to think for ourselves. We're spending our days thinking about our students, our schools, our administrators, our lessons, our own families, and so much more. But you're here. You're here right now listening to this show. And I want to give you some ways that you can attract more keys to unlock the income you desire as a teacher. So the first step is that you got to let go of that lack of I am just a teacher, and focus in more to bring in abundance. But what does that really mean? Well, I want to give you some real teacher examples of what I'm talking about here. Maybe you're believing that you can't afford things like new clothes, new cars, a home, and more. Maybe you check your bank account constantly and you think of new ways to save, but not in a productive way, in a stressful way, like frantically selling things in your home. Because I've been there. Maybe you're restricting foods because you have a negative relationship with them. So you're only eating 500 calories to 800 calories a day, packing your lunch for school. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, things are so hard, but they'll just switch soon. And I'm just going to keep running and doing the same thing I'm going to do. And hopefully things will work out. Maybe you're like, well, I've heard about selling my teaching resources online, but I'm not tech savvy. And that reminds me of one of our students, Robin, who thought the same thing. She started with nothing, and she only was able to watch our lessons on her phone because she didn't have a working computer. And those original vibes have carried her from classroom teacher to full-fledged business owner and course creator, making secondary math teachers' lives easier. She actually received her first sale back in December of 2019 after joining our community. And since those humble beginnings, she has grown her business by leaps and bounds. And she now has over 250 resources in her online store, and her email list is over 4,000 subscribers. She does teach full time. And I want to just reiterate that you can find success in setting small, manageable goals, but focusing less on lack and what you don't have and more on what you can bring in. So, some ways that you can do that right now today are I want you to start focusing in and being grateful for the little things in life. Yes, your kid smiles, but if you don't have kids, what about blades of grass, clouds in the sky, leaves on the trees, birds in your view, baby smiles, flare pens, lemons, gardens, anything that brings you joy? I'm just naming some of mine. Mine is music. Mine is a car ride with all the windows down and the sunroof open. And so when you think of all the things you're grateful for, it's hard to live in a life of lack. Think about things that you can do to serve others. How can you be of service to other people today? Simple things like holding the door open for someone, calling someone and telling you're thinking about them, paying for somebody's thing when you check out at the dollar store. Because when you begin to see life that way, that anything is possible and that I'm not going to hurt for a few dollars, or it's not going to take me but just a few minutes to call someone I love, or it's not going to be anything big for me just to stop and say thank you, you start carrying this mindset of things are going to happen for me sooner than I think because everything works in my favor. And I say this prayer a lot: God, show me how good life can get, because He will. He will show you how good life can get. The next step to unlocking the income you desire as a teacher is start looking for the clues. I want you to ask God to help you, and I want you to listen. I believe in signs, and I talk about this a lot, from number sequences to seeing different guides like birds that I've thought about. Like, I'm a big believer in seeing a dove as a good sign for me, because the day my grandfather died, I saw a dove. And I know a lot of people think this way about like cardinals and stuff, but the more you talk and ask and listen, the more that you'll see. And so, yes, number sequences like 111 and 123 are important, but sometimes I ask for like specific number sequences and I just see them over and over and over again. What's crazy is that we created the title for this podcast forever ago. And I asked God to send me a sign a couple months ago about a specific situation and about life. And it was the symbol of a key. That was it. And I've seen it like 10 times, but I was going to record this and it was the key to unlocking the income you desire as a teacher. And I was very specific. I was like, I'm not keys, just key, just one key. And I thought, wow, this is such a perfect time for us to be chatting with each other. It's an affirmation for me to say, hey, I'm right on track, because helping you is where I need to be. And I hope that you believe that as well. The third thing is set your intention. Start focusing on what you want. Do you want to leave the classroom? Do you want to work part-time? Do you want to be a stay-at-home mom? Do you just want to work from home? Do you want to stay in the classroom but find joy again? I'm going to ask you this for as long as I live. What do you want? Because if you can tell me word for word in a sentence what you want, I can help you get there. The problem is that most people, they don't know what they want. They go back and forth. They think they want this and then they want this. But the people that know what they want, more times than not, they get it. The next step is replace toxicity with clean and clear expectations. And this goes back to knowing what you want in life, in relationships, in your work, faith, exercise, happiness. Remove toxicity, being clear with yourself about your expectations for your life. So I may say to myself, I will live a happy and abundant life that leaves me with no stress. And it gives me beautiful moments every day. I'll find good relationships that inspire me, that lift me up, that make me laugh, that make me full of joy. I will find a church that supports me and allows me to feel confident in my faith. I will grow and I'll find food that fuels me to have a healthy lifestyle. I will exercise and challenge myself to be better than the person that I was yesterday. And I will do my best to find happiness in every hour of every day. The next step for a key to unlock your income that you desire as a teacher is that you got to work on your worthiness. You are worthy. You are worthy of happiness. You are worthy of love. You are worthy of making what you are worth. You aren't supposed to live your days filled with anxiety, filled with fear. You aren't supposed to constantly be wishing there was a way out. You are worth whatever your heart desires. Teacher guilt, it hits us in so many ways, but this is something that I take very seriously. What if you are working for a job that would forget who you are tomorrow if you decided to walk away? I'm going to say it again. What if you worked for a job that would forget who you are as soon as you walked away? I believe educators are the most beautiful humans on earth and that our students are as well. But the hard reality is that could be the job that you are in right now. So, what if you could walk away on your own terms? And I'm not just talking about quitting, I just mean putting your life, the ball back in your court. This is just the beginning of our journey. The next ones, and I'll kind of go over them kind of quickly, is find inspiration, ask yourself who inspires you, and listen to them. Learn how to develop your passion. And maybe you're thinking, but my idea, it's not an overnight success. I don't know exactly what I want to do, but I know I want to do something. That reminds me of Megan when she started her online teaching business with no experience on how to deliver an online course. She just knew she had an idea and she knew the idea was worth sharing. She is an SLP by trade. And so she spent a few months inside of our membership, nailing down her niche, her audience, her message. And she threw a course out into the world in 2020 and it was a total flop, right? It was something that she thought was going to go well, but it didn't. In fact, nobody purchased it, but she kept showing up. She knew her message was important and she needed a way to share it. She developed her passion. And so she dived back into the CEO teacher membership. She started participating in our coaching. She watched all the lessons and realized the importance of an email list, and she decided to go all in. And of February this year, she launched a book, a guidebook for SLPs, and she has sold over 100 copies in the last few months. She gives massive credit for her newfound success to having an email list, which she learned about inside of our membership. And she said that although she shows up on social media every day, sometimes it's still a struggle there to get people to purchase. And I think that we can pull the wool over our eyes and believe that social media is the only way, but there is a business strategy that you have to learn to unlock the income you desire as a teacher. I want you to remember that what you appreciate appreciates. The more you say thank you, the more you are grateful, the better off things will be for you. And remember that the more you focus on something, the more of that you get. Start focusing on all the good because what you want will find its way back to you. Just a quick reminder, this Sunday, June the 23rd through June the 25th, 2024, we are doing a brand new free video training series, Teachers Design Products That Actually Sell. I would love to have you be a viewer. This is only going to be available for 6 short days. So make sure you register. Go to caseymorris.com/sign up to sign up for our free video series. That's KAYSEMORRIS.com/sign up. And as always, teachers, remember your best is yet to come. I'll see you right back here next week. Bye, guys.